What a game. I mean, what a series these last two series have been against the Padres. And it's Will Smith, who had the at-bat of the season last night, off of the bench to win it against Robert Suarez tonight.
I'm going to say that maybe tonight was more impressive. And the reason I say that, you're going against one of the best closers in the game. And you've been sitting on the bench all night long. And Doc says, hey, you're hitting. Me? I'm hitting? Goes up there, goes deep to right field, just misses. Not just misses, but then goes to left field, down the line. And then, oh, by the way, let me go 0-2 to right center. I mean, that, as a former player, I tip my cap to you. That was sick.
You know what nobody has talked about yet, but should probably be talked about a little? Will Smith as an MVP candidate, as a catcher doing what he's doing hitting?
I mean, it's real. It is real right now because he gets overshadowed and he gets overlooked. But the hits that he's had, the ability to hit with runners in scoring position, you know, look at, we here in LA know how great he is. He's just got to do it the entire year. He's got to stay healthy. But when he's healthy, he's as good as anybody in the game.
Yeah. Dodgers have won 5 in a row. They'll go for a 4-game sweep over the Padres with Yamamoto pitching tomorrow night.
Fortunately, I've had a few walk-off homers. You know, it's hard to top one.
What is the point with you that you come back? You know, it seems so easy, you know, the comebacks for you, but at the end it's a tough team. But
yeah, we just keep fighting. You know, keep putting up good at bats, keep pressure on the other team. That's what we try to do. Just keep pressure on them. You know, when they mess it up, we try to capitalize. And yeah.
Is it special against the Padres?
No.
When you look back at just this last month for the team, obviously it's like a tough stretch of schedule. Just kind of, how impressed have you been with the way you guys have handled this, and especially, you know, this last week in these kind of division series, being able to put together some wins here?
Yeah, it's definitely been a long few weeks. You know, playing some really good ball clubs. You know, dealing with injuries and everything. But yeah, we're just sticking together as a team, grinding through it, one day at a time. I'm trying to filter strikes on his pitchers and we'll take good at bats with hitters. So try to play good baseball and see what happens.
In that situation, do you ever think, you know, I can end it, would you ever cross your mind?
Oh yeah, that goes across your mind all the time. But you know, you try to do it, you're probably not going to. So just get back to your approach, try to do what you do, get the barrel on the ball, and you know, move forward.
You guys have seen a lot of the Padres, I mean, specifically very recently. With an at-bat like that, can you kind of lean on some familiarity with Suarez there?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen Suarez. You know, I don't know how many at-bats, but enough to know kind of what his pitches look like, how the ball plays. Yeah, experience helps, but you know, if he executes, you know, he's a tough at-bat. So, you know, you gotta execute it.
What's the feeling of hitting a home run to let the boys in the field? You know?
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, walk-up homers are always fun. They're exciting. You know, the crowd loves them. It's fun to go home, you know, with fireworks and everything. So it's cool.
Dave, with Emmett, what were you seeing from him? It just kind of how special not only his return to the mound, but how effective he was able to be.
Emmett was fantastic. I thought, you know, going into tonight, trust his stuff, be on the attack with his mix, and he did just that. You know, he flooded the zone, kept them on their heels, and I thought Dalton did a fantastic job with the fingers and the sequencing as well.
With Justin Robleski, it was clear he wanted that ninth inning. When you see just that fire in a young player, that, you know, I guess the push from them, what does it say about him that you like?
I just love it. He wanted it, he earned it, and I think given where our bullpen is at, you know, I have to certainly be mindful of that, and I just felt that he had a lot more pitches in there. The stuff was good, and getting soft contact and whatever. I just felt that, you know, he was the right choice right there, and you know, obviously the inning got extended. You know, we couldn't convert on a grounder, but he found his way out of it, and we won a ball game.
How beneficial is it to have just these two young guys who, you know, it's with whether it's with Justin, who's corrected some of those wrongs, found himself a way to get back on track. Then you have Emmett, who now can provide you that length as well, but also is coming in a really sharp position.
I think it's great. You know, tonight was obviously one big league ball game, but you know, you look at the growth of two young pitchers and what they did against a very formidable ball club, And also Dalton, you know, being the catcher back there with the fingers, and I thought it was a big night for him as well. And so just kind of looking beyond and the experience that these guys are gaining and how they're coming out of it, it's certainly a great experience.
This series, you've really had to work magic with the pitching. You've been real short, maneuvering, and now you're up 3-0 on these guys. How gratifying for you to be able to do what you've done with that staff?
It's great, and I think it just speaks to the trust that they have in me and the coaches and our decision making. And essentially, the first 3 games have been bullpen games, you know, and you're trying to kind of piece together innings and prevent runs. And to those guys' credit, you know, Bardo and the pen and Mark and Danny and Connor, getting these guys prepared on the game planning, because, you know, coming into whether it's San Francisco series and this series, there wasn't a whole lot of margin for innings. And so to be able to kind of prevent runs and offense score when they needed to, and to be where we're at, we're in a good spot. And, you know, we got Yamamoto tomorrow, who's due for a good one.
With him, the ability to just command, to kind of have the sharpness on his pitches in his first start back like this, what does that kind of tell you about how well his rehab has gone, kind of how quickly he can kind of step in here and have some success?
Yeah, I mean, the rehab guys at CBR, Rob Hill and his crew, just getting the mechanics dialed, the conviction behind the pitches, and I said it before the game, I just trust his head. He's not afraid, he's not going to run from it, and he's going to trust his stuff. And he did that tonight. So it took a lot of people to get him back, but obviously most of the credit goes to him. And to be prepared for tonight and, you know, not feel his way back to the big leagues in a big ball game, a lot of credit goes to him.
How different does Wrobleski look than the version that maybe made that start in Washington earlier this year?
Much different. He's just a different person. I think that going down, the PD guys cleaned some things up, the delivery. He found some confidence. You know, there's 97, 98, 99 in there. He's filling up the strike zone, the secondary. He's able to use that behind an account. He is getting strike one as well. And he just doesn't seem like he's wavering anymore. So his last 3 have been very, very good for us.
And Dave, you entered this 10-game stretch with division opponents. You're neck and neck with the Giants, and now you got a 4.5-game lead over the Giants, 6 games over the Padres. Just how happy are you with how these last 9 games have gone?
I'm happy. This was sort of the gauntlet. We talked about it, you know, a couple weeks ago, and our guys rose to the occasion, and we're playing much better baseball, finding ways to win, and you know, against division foes. So yeah, happy, but you know, we got one more, and I want to put these guys away.
Dave, with Shohei now in the mix for the pitching staff, when would his next start be, and how do you expect him to sort of continue this trend that we saw tonight with strong pitching? Yeah,
so Dustin's going to go, so Yama tomorrow, and then Dustin will go on, or Clay will go on it's Friday, and then Dustin will go on Saturday, and then Sho's going to pitch on Sunday. So that's kind of how we're going to do it.
You worried anything was going to escalate when Andy got there tonight?
No. I think it never feels good to get hit, certainly when you're going a little bit higher, but I know Andy knew that there was no intent.
With so many pitchers that are building up right now, how important is this potential piggyback situation, or just having these arms that are available to give so many, just multiple innings in situations like this?
It was huge. It's been huge to be able to get some length, and tonight certainly I did everything I could to stay away from guys that we were going to not pitch tonight to make sure we don't redline these relievers. And so, you know, Justin's ability to give us 5 innings to essentially give those guys a day off. Kirby got up a little bit, but to give some of these guys somewhat of a reset is huge as far as kind of protecting you know, the rest of the pen.
Would you have sent Justin back out there for the 10?
I was going to, yeah.
Dave, with all that Will went through last year, how nice is it to see him have his bounce back season?
It's great. He's the best catcher in baseball. You know, Raleigh's having a good year. He's going to be the starter in the All-Star game, and he's just a tough young ball player. Going through the injuries and still never making an excuse for it. But now he's healthy, he's strong, and as you can see by his you know, in the batter's box behind the plate, and he's really performing. So it's just good to see him because, you know, I've always had, you know, the utmost confidence in Will as a ball player.
Did you have the feeling that he was maybe going to end it right there?
You know what, I did, but after the poolside foul homer, it's hard to then go backside on the next pitch, so that was pretty remarkable, but I had my fingers crossed.
You didn't want to go back on the home run calls 2 nights ago?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, I thought it, but I wasn't overt about it. Didn't say it aloud.
Are you keeping that in mind with Shohei? So the two of them will likely be, oh, sorry.
Most likely, yeah.
Sorry.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Clean game. You know, Cole looked really good. Bullpen really good. You know, they were you know, good at bats in the ninth. You know, Glacius ball, you know, missile right to Freddie, made a nice play. And then, you know, you got a dangerous guy when you got Will Smith that comes in the box and Suarez out there. I thought he had good stuff, you know, really quick first out, and then, you know, got a pitch that he barreled and was able to get out the other way. So, you know, if you get beat the other way in that scenario, it's not easy to stomach, but at least you can live to sleep about it a little bit. But he put a good swing on a tough pitch. I hadn't seen the pitch, but clearly it hurt.
What did you see in the top of the ninth inning, and specifically from Bogarts and on Bogarts' double? Did you think there might have been a chance that Lockridge could have gotten around and scored there?
You know, it's not a big park, you know, and Pai has a good arm, and it looks like he got over there pretty good. So, you know, we've got one out. We got a fast guy. So, you know, the inning was, Arise gets it started. Took advantage of a miscue. Sheetsy great at bat. And then Bogey, you know, good for him. You know, it was a big at bat, man. He laced the ball into the gap. And, you know, with one out, we got a guy at third for contact or anything in the air, the contact guy with the Glacius. Then, you know, as far as the decision, I had no problem with it.
I think it was that start by Steven to get into the seventh.
Really important, you know. I mean, again, they dinged him for, you know, 3. Right at his ship, kept going. Was able to get out there, get into the 7th. Started to get away from him a little bit. You know, you're down. It wasn't much of it. It was a little bit of a stretch for him, you know. Looked like he lost it a little bit with the walk to Muncy, who, you know, is not going to chase. And, you know, the cutter got away from him, so you can see he started to get away from him a little bit. Was able to, you know, retire Edmund, and Wandy came in and cleaned it up. So nice job by Wandy, great job by Morgan to keep it right there.